Hey, this is Brandon, sign name Brandon. So I'm not gonna sign throughout this review because it's gonna be easier for me to use my speech, my voice. So here it goes without sign language. So I'm going to talk about Supergirl and non-spoiler. It's gonna be non-spoiler. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil anything in this video. I will do a separate video, which is spoiler, and unfortunately, it might be as long as the movie. So, in my opinion, you're better off to just go see a movie yourself. If you can't help yourself and you want to know, you have to know what that movie is like, you need to know, you need to find out, just go watch the movie. You're better off. You will feel much better doing that. So just go watch a movie. Now, I'm going to talk about non-spoiler review. It's going to be short, sweet, and fast. Okay, first I'm going to make some comparisons between the movie and the books, or the book. So, first, let's compare Supergirl, the modern Supergirl, compared to Supergirl from 1984. Which one is better? In my opinion, new movie is better because it has better special effects, more modern, better sets, and better characters, more interesting characters, and better story, better action. Okay, 1984 Supergirl is nowhere near as good as the current Supergirl movie. Okay, so please don't. It is a very unfair comparison because it's very dated. This 1984 is dated. The effects looked really bad, and the story was absolute garbage. It was trash. So this new movie is a lot better, in my opinion. I think it is way better. Now, compared to Man of Steel. Funny thing is, I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything. All I can say is Man of Steel, Supergirl, very similar. The stories are completely different from each other. Very, very different. I would say Man of Steel is a better movie compared to Supergirl, only because the origin story is more fleshed out, it's better, it's more complete in Man of Steel. Okay, even though I don't like that origin story that much, but it is still better. And the action scenes in Man of Steel, top tier. Okay, it is the best thing I have ever seen. Those action scenes, incredible. They were like top tier, along with the Matrix fight scenes. So it's really, really good. Okay, Supergirl is not as good as that. Although it is still good, it is still enjoyable. I still have a lot of fun watching it. Now, people were comparing Supergirl to Thor and the Dark World. In my opinion, I watched Thor Dark World. It was crap. I did not like it at all. Not even a little bit. I almost fell asleep throughout the film. It's seriously the most boring film I have ever seen. It's not the most boring. Black Widow was worse than this. It was so boring. I was out of it. I was just not interested. So that was bad. Supergirl, miles better than these two films. Okay? Whether you like it or not. Miles better than that. Now moving on to the next movie to compare it to. Supergirl better than Superman, or is Superman better than Supergirl? Superman 2025. Which one is better? In my opinion, I prefer Supergirl more than Superman. Reason why is because Superman was an ensemble film. Okay? I hate that. Hate it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, Avengers, Captain America with a bunch of team, Civil War, whatever. You remember one of those? Always team up, team up, team up, team up. Stop. I don't like it. I don't like it. I can't stand it. So because I didn't like Superman because so many superheroes were taking turns in one film. Under the film titled Superman, not Superman and the Justice Gang. No, it's just Superman. It should be more about Superman. Focus more on Superman. James Gunn, he failed with that. That's why it didn't do that good in the box office. Because if it wasn't for the ensemble film, it's just Superman and the big baddie, and he fights with the big baddie along with the clone that he had to fight off with. That would have been better. No Justice Gang. No, keep them out of the picture. No, Mr. Terrific, please get out of the picture. I don't care about them. So that's what I wanted, but no. Supergirl, it doesn't focus too much on Lobo. It doesn't focus too much on Superman. It doesn't even focus too much on Ruthie. It focuses more on Supergirl. And that's all that matters. And it fits the title. And I was watching it, I was like, finally, a good movie. Finally. It was talking about Supergirl, no group, no ensemble, no Justice Gang or Justice League of America or whatever. None of that. It's just Supergirl. Fantastic. I like that. Now, moving on to a book. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I read this book. Everybody kept saying, oh, it is such a good book. It's an amazing book. The book is so much better than the movie. No. You know why they say it is much better? It's more colorful than the movie. That's it. It's just more colorful than the movie. That's why it's better. I don't care. I don't care about that. I think the movie is better when it comes to the story. It's a compact story of that book. See how thick this book is? I don't hate this book, but it is not very good. It's not a good read. It is completely overrated. It's equal to Hush Batman, basically. So, very underwhelming villain, just like in the book. The villain in this book, underwhelming. Not very fascinating. And the art was beautiful, okay? It's very similar to Batman, Hush Batman. So, I'm not impressed with this book. I read the whole thing, and believe me, I couldn't wait for Ruthie to shut up. Ruthie was talking all throughout the entire book. The title should have been Ruthie's Adventure with Supergirl. That would have been a more fitting title because it was all about Ruthie with her big mouth about her Saba, about her past, about Cram, and about Supergirl, about the adventures that she's going through with Supergirl. So it's more like adventures, Ruthie's adventures with Supergirl. That's what this is. And in my opinion, I don't really like this book. It's not. You don't see Supergirl talking a lot in this book. In the movie, you see Supergirl talk more than Ruthie. And the relationship between Supergirl and Ruthie is great. It's much better. And you don't hear Ruthie talk too much throughout the film. That will ruin the film. That would seriously ruin the film. But she doesn't do that. She goes like this. That's much better, okay? She does talk a few times here and there when she has to. But it makes sense, and she's not annoying, okay? Ruthie in the book, very annoying. I can't stand her. So anyway, moving on to how similar is the story from the movie compared to the book. It's very similar, but very different. The core of the story is there in the movie. It's very similar, but they made a lot of liberties to the story, so they took out some of the best parts of the book, but they also took out some of the worst parts of the book. So, in my opinion, I wish they had included some things in the movie that would have been more interesting, but they took out a bunch of really bad ones. And Lobo has never been in Woman of Tomorrow. There was no Lobo, no Superman. I don't know about backstory. I don't remember reading a backstory in this book. So I definitely remember the backstory in the movie. So there's a big difference between these two. And so it gives you an idea. If you have read the book, it gives you an idea that it is similar but quite different. So I would say that the movie is very loosely based on the book. So it's completely different. If you read the book and you think that the whole outcome, the story and the results and the set pieces are going to be the same, you're going to be surprised because everything's completely different. Even the story is different. It's the core of the story that's similar, but the story, like the events of what's happening in the movie are very different compared to the book. It's hard to explain. About the movie, the pacing is pretty good. It's got some backstories sprinkled in there. So it's got Ruthie's backstory, and it's got Supergirl's backstories, several backstories of Supergirl, which is fitting because it's about Supergirl, not Ruthie. And so, in my opinion, it was perfect the way it was. But, okay, without spoiling anything, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just going to try my best to give you a very small, tiny hint. It's not a spoiler. The way I explain it, don't worry. I don't like that part of the story. That's it. I just don't like that part of the story. In my opinion, that important part of the story can make or break the story into pieces. Okay? This really broke the story, the entire story, into pieces, rendering it almost useless. So I will explain why in a separate video, which is going to be a spoiler video about the movie. So I'm working really hard. It's very hard to come up with stuff like this. So anyway, that's what I can come up with. That's the best I can do to come up with this stuff. So if you can't help yourself and you have to know what the movie is like, stop watching spoiler videos. Stop reading spoiler stories or comments and just go and watch the movie for yourself and judge for yourself. You will be way better off doing that. You're wasting your life, you're wasting your time reading all these spoilers. And whereas you're way better off, just go see a movie and then you can read more about the spoiler stuff, which is more fun. You know what I mean? It's more fun doing that. It's not fun when you look at the spoiler and you come up with all the bad things in your head and you think, oh, that's a terrible film. How I would rate this movie would be 6 out of 10. I have my reasons. I'm not going to explain any further because spoiler. Just go see it. I actually recommend you to go see it, or just if you're patient enough, just wait until it comes out on DVD or streaming, and you can find out for yourself. And once you watch it, I have a feeling, I bet you, when you watch it, you'll be like, oh man, I should have seen it in the theaters. It's actually good enough. It fits the theater experience. It really does. It has that high quality feel of that film. It's hard to explain. It's good. So go see it. Thank you for watching.